She got pregnant in prison. But what she did next shocked everyone. Her name was Carla Reyes, 27 years old, inmate number 8421, sentenced to 12 years in a maximum security prison for armed robbery. Violent charges, no visitors, no privileges, just a number in a cold system. She had no dreams left, only time and silence. Her world was a cement box, cracked walls, flickering lights, and metal that groaned every time it locked behind her. Her nights? Cold. Her days? Repetitive. But her mind never stopped racing. She replayed every moment of her trial, every mistake, every betrayal, every tear her mother shed in court before vanishing from her life forever. She wasn't always like this. Once, she was a street artist in East LA, known for her bold murals and rooftop poetry. Her favorite piece? A painting of a mother bird shielding her chick under broken wings, titled, "Still Shelter." But that was before the robbery, before the wrong crowd, before the gun in her trembling hand at the liquor store, before the name Carla became a case number. And then came the hole. A literal crack in the wall, hidden behind a peeling poster of a government rehabilitation ad, small enough to miss, but big enough for a voice to slip through. It started with a cough, then a word, then a whisper. That's how she met Miguel, inmate number 7739, 2 cells down, fraud, clean record before the crime, a quiet guy, smart, lonely, once a high school science teacher, lost his job, gambled to cope, slipped. They started talking, through the wall, every night, about music, books, regrets, about what freedom felt like. Carla hadn't laughed in months. With Miguel, she laughed again. Days turned into weeks. Words turned into confessions. They had never seen each other's faces, but somehow, they knew each other more intimately than anyone else in their lives ever had. They shared their childhood fears. Miguel was afraid of thunderstorms. Carla, of silence. They created games. One would hum a tune. The other had to guess the artist. They'd read to each other from memory. Favorite lines from books they'd loved. Then one night, Miguel said, "Do you think people like us deserve a second chance?" Carla paused, then whispered, "Only if we make something beautiful from what's broken." Miguel fell silent. And then came the craziest idea of all. "Let's have a baby." At first, Carla laughed, then cried, then didn't answer. But that night, she didn't sleep. She stared at the ceiling, and for the first time, she imagined not escape, but purpose. The next night, she said yes. Miguel had a plan, a very real one. He studied anatomy books from the prison library, mapped out a schedule. Every day, for 30 days, he would pass a sealed bag containing his genetic material through the crack. Carla would use what she had, an old syringe from art class, bottled water for warmth. She timed her ovulation using a menstrual calendar made from toilet paper squares. Everything mattered. They coordinated in code. 1 knock meant the day was clear. 2 knocks meant hold. 3 knocks meant it was past. And then, it worked. Positive. She stared at the 2 pink lines like they were holy, her heart pounding, hands shaking. She was pregnant. And then came chaos. Prison officials launched a full investigation. Suspicion fell on guards. Interviews. Surveillance footage reviewed over and over. But no contraband. No secret meetings. No smuggled visits. Just biology, timing, and a whole lot of hope. The media exploded. Miracle baby behind bars. Her name trended. Protesters appeared at the prison gates. Some called it beautiful. Others called it disgusting. A news anchor asked, "What kind of world allows prisoners to become parents?" And then came the letter. A handwritten letter from a mother, a former inmate. She had given birth in shackles, and the child was taken from her minutes later. "I don't know you, Carla," it said, "but you're carrying more than child. You're carrying a chance for all of us." That letter changed everything. Lawyers volunteered. Human rights groups got involved. Court cases were reopened. Carla became a symbol. At 7 months pregnant, a judge reduced her sentence. Parole. House arrest. She left the prison escorted by 2 officers. But the cuffs were softer this time. She carried life. She gave birth in a clinic, not a cell. She named the baby Luna, because the moon had always been her escape during those dark nights. But freedom was complicated. She had no job, no family support, no money, only Luna. She cleaned offices at night while Luna slept in a basket nearby. She ate 1 meal a day so Luna could have 2. She sold drawings on the street, sketches of prison walls. One night Carla fell asleep on a bench. When she woke, Luna was gone. Panic exploded in her chest. She screamed, ran through the plaza, until a young man holding Luna calmly pointed to where she'd crawled behind a trash bin. That moment broke her. Not from fear, but from realization. She needed stability, not just survival. One day, while sketching on the subway, a woman stopped, bought every piece she had. Turned out, she was an editor at a local newspaper. A month later, Carla's story hit the front page. From there, her life transformed again. She was offered a residency at an art center for previously incarcerated women. She began teaching, painting, telling her story. And then came the twist. A year after Luna's birth, Carla received a message from Miguel's sister. Miguel had been transferred, and not voluntarily. He had been assaulted by another inmate. Badly. The system never forgave creativity. Carla was devastated. She wrote to him every day. Weeks passed. No response. Until one day, she received a drawing. A simple sketch. A wall. With a crack in the center. And through it, a flower blooming. It was his way of saying, "I'm still here." They fought for visitation rights. It took months. But it happened. Carla and Luna walked into the visitation room. Miguel sat across the glass. He smiled. She smiled. Luna reached her tiny hand toward the glass. They didn't speak much. They didn't need to. And outside that prison, a movement was growing. Carla became a speaker, a writer, a mother, a symbol of love and defiance of confinement. Today, she runs a nonprofit called Cracks of Light, helping women behind bars access therapy, education, and creative expression. She visits prisons across the country, not with judgment, with stories. She ends every talk the same way. Sometimes, the most beautiful things grow in the darkest places. If this story moved you, subscribe to Resilient Stories, because behind every number, there's a name. Behind every wall, a window. And behind every scar, a chance to begin again. Your next story starts here.